folks, this is something that everybody should try once. I try it more than once. We're on the CNR train going from Fredericton to McGivney. Mr. Paul Jude is our engineer today. And the first person we're going to be speaking to is sitting right beside me. And your name, sir, is?
Brian Bobian.
And Brian, your job description on the train as we go from Fredericton to McGivney today?
Make sure we get there safely and that the crossings are well protected. Protect the pedestrians and the motorists. And be on the lookout for any wheels that might be acting up, smoking, defective cars, and basically trying to keep my humor up.
Well, cheering for the Pittsburgh Penguins, my friend, that shouldn't be too hard, but being for the Blackhawks, I guess Mr. Jude has been laughing since we left the station to come over the bridge, but we'll get even with him long before the day is over. We may even get a demonstration of how to make a remote car before we're done today, if Paul's willing. But this is very serious business, folks, and we should let you know that the safety features of CNR are just as good now as they've ever been, and a lot of people should be trying to use this venue of getting transportation and goods into the city because it's very economical and it's an easy way to get them into the city. Brian, is it safe to say that there's some good places that the cars can be put right here in the city after the goods are transported here, or is it very remote?
Well, I think where there's a will, there's a way, and once the people see that we have a safe operation, that it's efficient, and we do a conscientious job, but that's a good starting point, Ken.
By the way, folks, our other person working today, Uncle Steve, the next future railway man of Canada, is out on the safety truck now, and that truck is ahead of us, Brian, and what's that doing for us?
Just checking the general track conditions, Ken, and hopefully we'll get there, safely, and making sure that the crossings are passable. But we haven't had a lot of snow, so we haven't had a lot of thawing and freezing, and we should be all right.
Let's talk about the snow bit for a minute, Brian, as we're crossing the Fredericton Railway Bridge right now. If there were a lot of snow, would the snow be removed by a special vehicle as we go along, or would it be removed long before we leave the station?
Oh, well before we leave the station. Hopefully they have a broom specially equipped that clears any snow. We carry equipment, emergency equipment, that should we encounter a crossing that's iced up, Ken, we take a pick or a shovel, whatever, and clear a flange crossing for the engine to cross over safely.
Now, as we're moving along here, being the railway, not that I am, there are a lot of lights that we're going to see. I shouldn't say a lot of lights, but there are signal lights, much as you would have on a highway. As we're moving up here to the station, we have a colored light. What will that tell you and Paul as we're moving along?
That it's all right to proceed by this signal, as it's a clear to stop signal, that there's nothing ahead of us that we'll run into.
One of the big things is, as we've just crossed the bridge, we're coming up to the station at where we started. As Mr. Hunter is flowing is not the proper word, as he's railing out to McGivney, checking the rail and everything like that. Is there a form of communication if there was something wrong on the way out, Brian, that you would know right here in the engine?
Well, hopefully he would get to a telephone and call us if there's something wrong. We're basically traveling at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And that would, with our experience on the track, enable us to stop quite safely.
How long have you been with CNR?
Since 1981.
That was the year the Penguins cut you? Brian, we should let everybody know that this is something, as a teacher, I try to tell the kids, train time is any time, and when you hear that horn, get out of the way.
Absolutely. Whenever working around the tracks, I'm always leery that if I walk across the tracks, Ken, that something could be coming. I don't know, it seems to be in your blood. That friends heard around the railway, and it's nothing to fool around with, Ken.
Appreciate that, Brian. On the way back, we're going to be talking to the conductor at the back, Mr. Dean. We're going through the station that we started at. We went over to pick up a car, and we're going to be releasing that on this side of the river. And then we'll have some great footage of the Nash Walk going up towards McGivney. You can see we're here at McGivney right now, and you can see the larger train, which will be going to Moncton shortly. We're going to be picking up a consist of 2 cars here this afternoon on a beautiful January day. Rob's holding the camera. That train you're seeing now has 3 large engines on it, going to pull the cars all the way down. You'll notice there aren't many cabooses now on the trains. He'll come over here and switch up and pick up some of the other gondola cars, as they're called, the coal cars. These guys work hard out here, folks, and it isn't always warm and sunny like this. The trouble with that guy walking down is he's for the Montreal Canadiens, I think. We've got to talk to him later. But we're out here on a beautiful, beautiful day. But this is how the goods do reach Fredericton. This train will be going back to Moncton today, but sometimes it'll go all the way up to Montreal and back again out of Halifax. Our man, Paul Jewett's going to be coming up. Brian will make the switch. And we're going to have the train pull over to pick up the two gondola, two cars that we have. One is containing lumber, and the other, I have no idea what's inside it. Okay, now our train, number 3505, we're going to be changing engines today, folks. We'll be coming back in a different engine as well. Our van, our caboose, is sitting back in the back. Very noisy here right now. Paul is driving the engine back, 3505. He'll go up and make the switch. And as, by the way, that is the engine that we were lucky enough to ride on the way out. We'll be going back in the caboose. Steve will be in the front. But as you can see, it's not an easy job to be a railway man because there's a lot of work to be done. Mr. Dean, our head conductor, is now getting ready to make the switch onto the other train as well. But like I said, it's not always a sunny day here, but if you look at all the cars that are here, we've got a car loaded with Irving Products lumber, and we've got some gondola cars which usually haul lumber, and coal cars as well. It's still a pretty enterprising way to go out here in McGivney. CNR does come into Fredericton, and this train will take the cars that we're picking up here today back into Fredericton again, as I said, for the companies that have them. Rob, as he's filming, is showing you the three engines which will be pulling the other cars away. One of those engines, again, as I say, will be ours coming back, and I have no idea which number it's going to be yet, but we'll find out that in a moment. But we're here at McGivney Junction. Brian's at the switch, getting ready to make a few changes here. But boy, I'll tell you, kids, those of you who like trains, this is the way to be right here today. What a beautiful sound here this afternoon. Boy, I'll tell you, I've got to go teach on Monday, but this is an inspiration for me till the end of the winter. That humming sound you hear, the wheels hitting that cold track, the snow flying. 3505 we're going to lose, and we're going to be picking up our engine here in a moment. I'm going to make a bet that is 3573, and I haven't been right in 2 years, so perhaps I'm wrong on that, but that'll be switching down as well. You're going to get a picture of Paul as he comes out. We didn't get much chance to film him coming out because we were so busy talking about other things. But Paul Jewett, our engineer, and boy, I'll tell you, he knows how to run a train. But Brian, again, is waiting right here at the switch. Safety comes first for Canadian National, folks, I'll tell you that. And Rob and I have really been impressed the way this is run right from the time Bruce Hunter brought the track-checking car out, which Steve has ample footage of, to what you're going to see on the way back. But the two cars that we're going to pick up, you'll see here in a moment as we back up the engine. But again, we're here in McGivney, which was the end of the run for Paul's crew today, and we'll be going back to Fredericton. Now I have 3573, so I finally was right on something in the last 2 years. Paul Jewett will now take our engine up to the cross section, and he'll be backing it up. Sorry for the basketball term there, folks, but I'm so amazed at how smooth this operation is running out here. It is like a basketball game. There's a lot of teamwork out here. The longer train now is going to connect and pick up a few more cars, and they're just jockeying back and forth for position. But we will have these two cars coming to us in a moment, and as Rob is going to be very capable of doing with the camera, he'll be showing you where Brian is making the switch up there, how this train will back up into this caboose, and then we'll be connected and move forward a bit, and then head back for Fredericton. But the noises you hear in the background are the larger freight train connecting for the other cars that are sitting around here. One thing railway people will do, folks, they don't leave things sitting around very long. These two cars are here today, and they're going to be in Fredericton the same day, and ready to go where they're supposed to go. But Brian's given directions to our engineer, Paul Jewett, and as soon as they communicate on the reverse part of it, they'll come back here, and Rob and I will be here in the caboose. We have special permission from CNR, folks, so not everybody will be doing this. We're on a safety platform, and we're being very, very careful, following the instructions of the train crew. We're not doing anything we're not supposed to do, and we're not doing anything that we don't have permission to do. So don't anybody think you can just come and do this, because you can't. As you can see in the background, to the foreground, the larger train, which now probably has 65 or 70 cars on it, or will have by the time it's done, is now getting in position to move some more gondola cars away. And this is amazing. If you could, this is how quiet it is. We have the mic. We're only about 100, 120 feet away from the larger train, and you can barely hear it moving. And that is absolutely amazing to me. I can just pick up the engine about half to maybe a little more than a half, 5/8 of a mile away, and he's just starting to come into the camera area right now. That tells you how large this train is. And folks, he ain't done yet because he's got a few more cars to pick up here. So that tells you what you have running. And this is here at McGivney again to let you know where we are. Our older engine is now a part of the train that you're looking at, and we have picked up a new one. So when you hear the numbers 3573, that's the train number we have here now. We're getting ready for our engine now to back up once the Moncton train has everything in position there. As you can see, our train is going forward a bit. Brian is at the switcher, which you can very capably see thanks to Rob's camera work. And he'll be coming back towards us. So those of you who enjoy watching trains, this is one part of it that we've had a very difficult time filming because we haven't really been able to get in this position to film it. But Paul's going to be backing up the train. I think we'll see Brian on the back of the car. I'm not sure. I don't want to put him in the spot, but I know, Rob, you and I were looking at Brian before this started, and they have special footwear. They have everything that they need for ice and snow and what have you as well. So it's really amazing. You're going to hear a little noise when they back up into the car. And again, Rob and I are ready for this. We're just standing here anticipating it. Brian on the end car coming back towards us. And this is railroading at its best, folks. I don't know what it was like with steam engines. I saw a few, but it must have been really, really impressive watching these people communicate, because Brian is in total communicate with Paul Jewett, who's the engineer, Mr. Dean as well, and everything is getting ready. And we can almost read the numbers on this boxcar coming towards us. We've ordered a pizza, and Brian's bringing it to us right now. But this should be good right now. They're getting ready to connect, and if it looks like it's getting close, folks, it is. We're just getting ready for the connection. Brian's telling Paul how far they are. And if you want to see something smooth, you want to watch this. Brian's now getting ready to connect everything. And again, Paul will not move the engine or the train until he tells him to.
The New Brunswick Community Television Archive, exploring New Brunswick's history of community television programming, is an educational initiative of CHCO-TV.